Hey there, welcome to Consult the Blind Guy. My name is Andrew. In today's episode, we are doing a Q&A on public speaking. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can stay updated on the latest videos, live streams, and more. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. I greatly appreciate you being here. I'm here to help you grow your channel, build your brand, and help you learn about the blind and visually impaired. Let's get to it.
Disappointed by reality, trying to come back, start something new, build up yourself, it's all to you. Stay strong no matter what they say, you keep getting better every day. Hold your head up, never gonna stop, fierce and proud, stand up and shout. Stand my ground.
As I said, my name is Andrew, and welcome to Consult the Blind Guy. Thank you for joining me today on this live stream. We almost had to cancel because Xfinity was here today to take care of some issues. And because of the issues, he was having some difficulty in trying to get us set up to be able to reconnect because apparently there's some kind of grounding issue which let some electricity into their lines and he got a little poke, but we managed. He got us hooked back up, so we're here. Thankfully, didn't have to cancel, which really made me happy because I was not in the best mood when he said that he couldn't hook us back up. So as I said, today we are covering a Q&A on public speaking. So if you have any questions, please drop them into the chat. And if you could, put question in all caps. It'll help me be able to see your questions a little bit easier compared to the rest of the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead, do the same thing, put question in all caps. It'll help me differentiate you with your questions from the regular comments. As I said, I am legally blind, so it does make things a little bit easier for me to do. Let's see who we have here with us live today. Dr. Elo, what's going on, cuz? Thank you for being here. Brother Terrence, what's going on? Lauren from Divided by Sight, how are you doing? Hey, Kim, how are you doing today? Thank you, Elo. This is the beginning of the new setup. I actually spent yesterday taking all my records almost off of my shelf and sliding it down. I am actually working on getting an L-shaped desk. So here in the near future, hopefully, I will have more here to my side that you'll be able to see as well as everything behind me. At the moment, my stand that everybody has seen in the previous videos for the behind the scenes is actually a microwave stand that I have improvised into my desk temporarily. And I'm hoping here in the near future to actually have a regular desk to be able to sit at and have a 100% set it and forget it setup. And that means that my camera will be in the same place. My microphone will be in the constant same place. Instead of having to pull my microphone out and set the camera and make sure that it's turned to the right angle and down at the right angle, it's all going to be pretty much set it and forget it for the most part. Because my camera is actually an Android phone that is on the smooth gimbal, so I have to turn both of those on in order for me to have the angle and everything else. Joys of having an electronic gimbal, but it works. In fact, I actually have a new stand that the gimbal is sitting on. Instead of having my usual tripod sitting on the floor, I now have a desk clamp that is actually sitting on this stand that my gimbal is screwed onto, instead of having you sitting back another like foot and a half from me. So now you're a lot closer and a lot more easily to reach and manage compared to before. All right, Lauren's got a question here. Does it help follow a prompt or bullet points of the uh, you got a typo there, so I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to say. Bulletin points of the comment you're going. I'm thinking that's supposed to be comment you're going to address or conversation. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say there, Lauren. That typo's screwing me up. But for the first part of your question, does it help to follow a prompt or a bulletin point for what you're going to talk on? Yes, it does help depending on content. Okay, so does it help to follow a prompt or bullet points on the content you're going to address? Yes, it can help you drastically. Now, for instance, right now, my only prompt for talking is your questions. I have no bulletin points, I have no teleprompter, nothing like that. Everything that I'm going to speak on today for this Q&A is all right here. Why? Because public speaking is pretty easy job to do. It all depends on your niche and things like that, on whether or not you actually want to have a prompt or a bullet point sitting out for you to be able to see. Depending on how experienced you are in your field or anything like that is going to play a big part into it. Um, for instance, Pat Flynn, when he does his live streams and some of his videos, he actually does have a set of bullet points that are wrote down on notepads. Those notepads are sticky notes, post-its, he'll have sitting up on his computer. Excuse me. I've seen other people where they use like an iPhone or an iPad. Excuse me. Coffee burps. Pardon. And it can help. The live streaming pros, for instance, Luria has a teleprompter that she uses, and it has bullet points on there rather than reading from a full script. You have just main little one sentence line to go, hey, this is what you're going to talk about. Because if you're experienced or knowledgeable enough on that topic, it should be pretty easy for you to go, hey, that bullet point says, for instance, one of the videos I did yesterday is about how to take your email list from Teespring and export it and be able to have it for like ConvertKit or MailChimp or whatever email provider you have to be able to reach out to those purchasers. Now, instead of having a bulletin point sitting here telling me what to reference right now, I'm winging it. That can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. As I said, it all depends on what your niche is. For Dr. Elo, for instance, I'm sure that when he's doing his content, that he has at least some kind of a bulletin point to reference to because of talking about sustainability. In each video, he might have a different topic of types of sustainability, whether it's water sustainability, whether it's recycling to prevent more landfill issues and being more self sufficient, or whatever it may be for sustainability. He'll have at least a one liner or a small paragraph to go, hey, this is what you want to reference today or these are some of the things that you don't want to forget. Now, it's not like you really need it to be a full freaking paragraph to go, hey, this is what you need to talk about and say it exactly like this. Because in some cases, if you have prompts like that or a teleprompter, you're going to be slow in giving that information. Why? Because you're going to be too focused on reading it rather than saying it. Whereas if you have something that's quick and easy that you can glance at, then you can go off of that reference and be able to fly through and be able to go back to whatever you're doing. For instance, like me right now, if I had a prompt or a bullet point, I'd be able to look at it and then go back to you on the question in the chat instead of going, all right, now I'll make a reference, because there are a lot of people who don't have the experience in reading and talking at the same time, and you can see your eyes shifting if you're reading. There's a lot that plays into it, but it does help you stay on point. Yeah, see, Dr. Elo has an outline. And for instance, that right there, me reading it took me a second. Look down, look at it, reference back to you. Uh, that's only because I got to look down and actually see it, because I can't see it that well without it being blown up extra big for me to notice. But it can actually help you. Now, for public speaking, it all depends. For us in the blind and visually impaired community, I don't think that if you're out public speaking, you're going to be able to do something like that, because in most cases, if you're out and standing on a stage or out in front of a crowd, you our community is not going to be able to see a bulletin point on a teleprompter or on a sheet of like uh, cardboard or something like that out in front of us like they used to do in TV series and in movies to help them with their lines. Us being visually impaired, it's something that's going to be a lot more difficult for public speaking to have something like that because we can't see it. But if you have the knowledge within you that you're going to be talking about and you have that experience, it's a lot more likely that you're going to be able to go through it with your own thought process of staying on track of what you're talking about compared to looking at a prompt or a bulletin point on a card that's further away. Hey, Just Samson, how's it going, bro? Right, Dr. EO, exactly, because that's the main thing is you don't want to forget what your main points are. And that's the best kind of prompt there is, for instance, like I said, doing Teespring and getting your email addresses off of there and being able to put them on a ConvertKit or MailChimp or whatever email provider. I did that video without a single prompt. I just walked right through it and I cut out the parts that I didn't need in there because of me fumbling with typing or leaning in and stuff like that. And rather than having a bulletin point in front of me and referencing that to tell you exactly how to do things, I walked you right through it as I was doing it to make it easier for me so I didn't have more editing to do later on. Now, it would have probably been a lot easier to have a bulletin point in some cases, doing like the live tutorial on how to do Teespring and set things up and referencing where the buttons are and things like that. Now, as I said, for us in the blind community, it's going to be a lot harder to do those prompts without turning away or looking down or something to that effect because of our visual impairment. Now, if you know how to do Braille, you could have a little notepad or something like that that you could have in your hand to be able to go across that and still be talking at the same time you're feeling on the paper. But I don't use Braille, so I really couldn't tell you outside of that if it would work too well. Hate when doing a live stream and there's dead space or silence. Yeah, I totally understand that. I noticed today when I had the timer on, there's actually a 6 second delay between you and I. So that's why I try my best to just keep going while you're possibly responding with more questions or anything like that because of the 5 6 second delay. Now, in some cases, I've noticed in the past that there could be anywhere from 5 seconds to a 30-second delay, in which case there has been some dead spots. And when I do the live stream edits to repurpose that content, trust me, I noticed that myself because I was doing it the other day. I was editing some of the live streams into clips, and there's a few of them that I noticed that there's a dead spot for 10, 15 seconds before I actually said the next word. And even then, it might have just been, oh, sorry, coffee. Got them coffee burps. Speaking of coffee, I'm taking a sip so it don't go cold on me. Question: who would pay for a speaker to talk about dealing with blindness? It all depends on the different areas that you're in, but I have heard about the Foundation Fighting Blindness having speakers come out that they have compensated for doing public speaking. The Association for the Blind has had people that have gone out as public speakers as well. Um, for instance, the other day, the new accessibility technology conference that starts Wednesday is actually paying a couple people that are blind to be a part of that conference and speak on the accessibility and technology that's coming out these days. I had considered reaching out to Sam from The Blind Life and participating in that, but because I don't think anybody would really like my stance on excessive technology, that I would be somebody that they would want there to speak. Granted, it is a virtual conference, but they've got people from Microsoft and different companies that are going to be talking about the technology that they're utilizing and how it's going to help our community and things like that. And I don't think that they would really like me to be a part of that conference because I'm going to complain about accessibility and technology because these have accessibility features on them. These phones, though they have accessibility features on them, suck ass. This computer has accessibility features. Granted, I do like 99% of the accessibility features, but they still suck. Why? The narrator for it, the screen reader, okay? It's not accurate. Whether I type something out perfect as can be in English, it still doesn't pronounce things right. You can have it read something on the screen and it will still screw up on some of the simplest freaking words. Then you have technology out like the new Google Glass and all the other new forms of wearable technology. Not always accurate. And I don't think that those companies are going to appreciate somebody like me possibly being a part of that conference and cutting down all their hard work, because I will do it without hassle. That's just me. I love some of the accessibility features and technology that is coming out because it is supposed to be there to help us. But I don't think that the other speakers in that conference would too much appreciate somebody like me complaining nonstop for a half an hour to an hour about how their technology sucks. But there are absolutely all kinds of different places. Myself, I have been compensated on a couple different times for doing public speaking within the last 15 years. Granted, it wasn't a lot, but I still made a few dollars to go and actually publicly speak about Native American culture as well as being blind. Hashtag rant time, Lauren. But yes, I don't think that they would like me at that particular conference about accessibility technology, because I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm going to tell you about the features I do not like. I'm going to tell you why I do not like it and why I think they can do better. And they're going to be there about, well, we've done this to make it more accurate, but is it really more accurate? Um, for instance, here, let me. Why? I forgot to take that damn phone out of here. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Having Xfinity here today kind of threw me off, and as I was saying at the beginning of today's live stream, we almost didn't have a live stream, so I kind of forgot about the phone being on the cradle. Thank God that they actually got us hooked back up, because if we wouldn't have been hooked back up today, like he was talking about, I would have actually had to postpone the Blind Live Everyday Challenge, because he was making reference that we were going to have an electrician out here, and God knows when they would have been here to be able to take care of the grounding issue or whatever the hell it is, to be able to get us back online, because he got a slight little poke while unhooking one thing, and well, according to him, they're not allowed to work on things even if it's this tiniest little electrical poke, because it's a safety hazard. So we almost didn't have a stream today, but luckily 45 minutes before we got to go live today, he managed to get it hooked back up and called it good. Still might have some intermittent issues, but we'll see how things go. Yeah. Yeah. Just show up to the conference with the t-shirt saying rant time. That that would be nice, Lauren, but with it being a virtual conference right now with everything going on, it probably wouldn't work out the way we would want it to. changing weather. $59 on this morning. It's 80s going to break 100 for the next 3 days. Yeah, you can keep that freaking weather, man. I'll take the 59 to the 80 that you're dealing with, Samson, because we went from being in the 80s to one night where it was in the 50s for here around my house, but just a little ways up north from here, about an hour and a half, it was down in the 20s. And then this week, we're going to have highs between the 50 and 60 range, and our lows are going to be around 30 to 20 degrees. So yeah, you can keep that 100-degree stuff. Just saying. Now, you're probably wondering how much you can actually get paid for doing public speaking. And I've seen things for regular old Joe Schmoes like us. You can make anywhere from $50 to a few $100s. And depending on your situation, you could actually be making more than that. Because when you do public speaking, if they are actually going to reach out to you and want you to participate in things like that, you're going to want to have a fee set up that you would prefer to negotiate from. You want to start high and then go down. You don't want to go low and then work your way up. And for instance, Pat Flynn, he has made reference in a couple of his live streams for how he charges and how they negotiate. Always start out high, and then if they don't like that high price, then you negotiate and get it to drop down a little bit more depending on your travel costs if you have to go anywhere, your hotel room if you have to stay overnight, your admittance to the rest of the event if you're only going to be there for your speaking period and then leave, then don't worry about it. But if you're going to be there for your speaking event and you're going to want to see the rest of the conference per se, if you're doing something like that, then you would want them to compensate you as well for the rest of that ticket. Sometimes places like that, when they do public speaking events and they have speakers there, they automatically give you the rest of the conference for free, but in some cases I heard they haven't as well. So you'd want to have that taken care of. If you were to be somebody like in our sighted community and you had to drive from the hotel room to the conference, you're going to want them to cover your rental car or your Uber or whatever transportation it is that you have to have. You're going to want to have a few bucks in there for your food and things like that. Now, you don't necessarily have to charge them for your food, but you can tack it on and hope that when you're negotiating that they will pay you enough for everything. From free to 50K, I've been on both sides, being the speaker and the event producer, promoter. The best way to start out is to speak for free and get your reps in until you build a following. Yep, yep. Um, my first couple of speaking events, as I said, I have done a couple of them, and I was compensated for being there. My very first one, I made $5. That's it, $5. I told them, you pay $5, that'll cover my city bus ticket and a drink. because that's what I did. Took the city bus, went to the event, got me a pop, and had the money to be able to take the city bus back home. $5. That's all I made for my very first speaking event. My second one, on the other hand, I made $50 because I had to have a ride because it was further away. So I paid $20 in gas money to somebody to give me a ride. Then I had a couple dollars for me to have a drink and lunch, and I also paid for their lunch, which granted wasn't much, but that $50 was still $50 for me to go and publicly speak for half an hour to an hour. And you don't have to charge ungodly prices to be able to go and publicly speak, but you do want to make sure that you're getting compensated for your time. As Samson said, you could start out for free, get your experience in, get your reputation up for being a public speaker. Do it for free at first, but have it set so once you get further experience that you can go, okay, well, I want $100. Why do you want $100? Well, it's going to take me uh, an hour to drive there. So that means in the blind community, you're going to have to either have somebody in your family or your friends or an Uber take you to that event. Now you're going to have to pay for the gas money. And they might want compensation for having to wait around as well. Then you're going to want to have a bottle of water or a drink of some sort. You're going to want to go out to lunch or out to dinner. You want to have some kind of a small fee plan set in place, whether it's a single event for 15 minutes to an hour, whether it's a multi day event, whether you're the keynote speaker or just a regular presenter, whether you're giving a walkthrough. There's a lot of different scenarios in which you're going to want to base your fee on. Hey, Sammy Superstar, what's going on, brother? And thank you for the compliment on the background. Greatly appreciated. I switched up a little bit of stuff, and it will be changing again here in the near future. Um, I'm looking at getting an L-shaped desk, so I'll have something over here off to this side. That way my computer will be in the same spot every time instead of being on a movable uh, microwave stand like it is right now. My mixer will be able to sit on the same table. Everything's going to be able to set in one area to make it a lot easier for me, because I am working on getting us set up so there will be background music. I'll be able to have everything set up to do phone calls and everything else. So thank you. Slowly but surely making improvements, as Dan Courier would say. Little improvements, big results. As most of you have seen, I have changed the background setup a lot in the last few months. First, I sat against the wall and I didn't like it. So then I switched things around in my bedroom to where I had the curtain. This one here was all wide open, and I had my cedar chest there, and you could see the eagle heads and things like that. But I was also using a very crappy setup for cameras, which are only 480p HD, so it didn't look the best. Then I switched again to where I was against the blue wall. It's alright, but I wanted to give everybody a more professional and more personal feel than me sitting directly against the blue wall, because I was literally resting my back on the wall. And then this stand that I'm using was sitting halfway out into my walkway in my bedroom. And then I'd have to shift it over. Then I'd have to move it back. And then I had the tripod that held on to my phone with the gimbal. And it was a pain in the butt. Now I have everything shifted around again, because right here that in this open area was actually my other microwave stand that I'm using as a stereo and turntable holder. And then right here in this corner was actually one of my speakers. And then you've got my record shelf, which is going to move down yet another foot so I can have enough room to have a desk in here. Because I'm trying to make it so that I can keep my room as much multi use as possible. And I want to make it easier for me to be able to do my recorded content. I want to make it so that everything is still accessible as well as decently set up so I can do my music. Because as most of you have seen, I've got an electric drum set. Well, that takes a minute to pull out of the closet, set it up, make sure it's set in the right position, get the camera set up, get the mixer set up, and all that stuff. And I'm trying to make it so that everything is as simple as absolutely possible. Bella? You mean Bleedo? The blind live streaming every day in October challenge is still gonna happen. In fact, I will be sending out the invites to the group here in a little while tonight with a demonstration for those that want to do the podcaster style setup instead of showing your face and you want to do just audio only. That will be sent out as well. Um, for those that might be here joining us live right now, Sammy is going to be one of our moderators for the group to assist me in making sure everything runs smoothly and helping people if you happen to need it. Because Sammy has been streaming for close to 100 and some days now. Yes. Yep. Dr. Elo knows. In fact, cause I don't remember if you said you wanted to participate, Elo, but if you do, I will send you the information for that as well. Interesting. There we go. Sorry about that. There was a malfunction with StreamYard. It had an notice for an overlay sitting on my chat, so I couldn't read everything without scrolling over everything a couple times. Well, I know you've been streaming since 2016, but you started I was gonna say you started streaming back in like June or July and was doing it every day. Yeah, see, daily since June 30th. So you got quite a bit of live streaming underneath your belt right now to help with the group. All right. Does anybody have any more questions on public speaking? Go ahead and drop that into the chat, and I'll take a quick sip of coffee. for those that may not know about the Bleedo challenge, Bleedo is blind live every day in October, or blind live streaming every day in October. And it does not matter if you're blind or visually impaired, this is open to everybody that wishes to participate. It's called Blind Live Streaming Everyday October because it was asked of me from the blind and visually impaired community to host this challenge. And this challenge is geared towards helping you get the experience on camera, or in some cases, if you're not somebody doing video content, it will give you the experience of podcasting to an audience every day for 31 days. It'll help you learn a little bit more about yourself, help you create your calls to action, help you create a value proposition, get over the nerves and fear of being a public speaker in your content, whether you're doing video or whether you're doing audio, or even if you're thinking about going into actual public speaking like we're talking about today in this Q&A, or whether you're a blogger. It can help you in your content all around to get over the fears and nerves of what other people are going to think about you or say about you, whether you think it's going to be about how you look or the tone of your voice or anything like that. I can tell you right now, I was just like that until on this past August, because I was afraid. I didn't want to be a public speaker here on YouTube and have to deal with trolls, which you'll learn how to deal with some of them as well. There's so many different things that you can do within this challenge that I could literally sit here and write a novel about the different experiences that you may have just from doing this challenge. Sammy can tell you, Dr. Elo can tell you, that when I did this challenge, you could see from day 1 to like day 5, day 6, that I was not all that good at talking on camera, afraid of being misunderstood or getting harped on because of how I look or the tone of my voice or anything like that. And now you can see me every Monday and Thursday here since that challenge, and I am more open. I have more energy. I'm not worried so much about trolls because I have moderators now. So I don't necessarily have to deal with it myself. Thankfully, Samson and a couple others, Lauren, are assisting me. That way I can stay focused on the content at hand and somebody else can do it for me, so I don't have to stop mid sentence or mid content to do it myself. Hey, Danny McKenna, how's it going, brother? Being solo is nerve wracking. I totally understand it. When I stream with others, I'm not as nervous. It definitely comes out when streaming solo. Yes, but doing this challenge, Lauren, I bet that you're gonna get over the nerves of being solo. Excuse me. And I was actually curious. Is your sister gonna participate? Or does she want to? I wasn't sure about that because I didn't notice her name on the sign up list, so I figured I would throw that out there and ask. But there's a lot. Um, I shared a lot of my personal story with everybody. 99% of my life story got shared in August. Now, of course, I left out some of the bad points and some of the high points and things like that, but I did give the majority of my life's journey within my content. Now, you don't have to do that either, just so you are aware. You can go as deep as you want in this challenge. It is entirely up to you. Some of these missions are going to be worded in a way that we do want you to go deep, but it is totally up to you on exactly how deep you go. It doesn't have to necessarily be like super personal, but the more personal you can make it, the more of an experience that you're going to have during the challenge. The more you're going to realize about yourself and about the fears that you've been feeling and how you can accomplish doing the content you want to by being more personal with your audience. Because it's going to show you some things about yourself that you might not have realized prior to the challenge. I learned some of my own insecurities doing this challenge for Lita, and I know how to start working to get over them. I have personal experiences of feeling like the imposter because, well, you're not going to want to listen to me because I'm not a pro at doing something. Whereas, though I might not necessarily to some of the other well known and well paid people be a pro, I have experience more than somebody else. And that little bit of experience can actually make you look like a professional to somebody who has no experience. So you're going to learn quite a bit about yourself and about your content and how to do things for your content so you can improve over time. Now, the challenge is done over an entire month span to make you think a little bit more about your content, about yourself, and how you're going to move forward. You don't have to worry about being there absolutely every day at the same time. You can if you want to do it like that. That's how Sammy did it when we did Lita. Every night at midnight, that boy was live streaming. And I mean, every night. Didn't miss a single day. Every time was at the same time, every stream. Now, that there is kicking it in the butt. That is setting it up with consistency and making sure that you follow through with the plan that he had. I'm not saying you have to do that, but the more consistency you can introduce into the challenge, the more likely when you get outside of the challenge, you'll stick with that kind of a behavior. And that's what we're trying to do is create a better behavior for you to be on camera because you're going to have them nerves occasionally. There's still a lot of people like Pat Flynn who will tell you, hey, man, I got up this morning and I was a little bit nervous about hitting that go live button because of the topic today and I just wasn't feeling it. But then I seen everybody here in the chat and telling me good morning and having conversation. And then it's like that right there is what I'm here for. They're why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. And then it helps him to get over the nerves to keep going and get the live stream done and shares with everybody that he's talking to. It's more about showing confidence, even if you're not a pro and you can come across as one. Exactly, Danny. Uh, David Foster said it when we did one of our challenges. You know, imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is you having them nerves and that fear of going, well, I'm not a pro. Why does anybody want to listen to me? I don't have the experience. I don't have this. I don't have that. They're going to hate me. Guess what? Some people are not going to like you. Some people are going to love the hell out of you. You might not have 15, 20 years of experience live streaming. You might only have 5, 6 months of live streaming. You might have 2 years of doing video content creation, but only live streamed maybe twice. That there, to somebody who has never live streamed, to somebody who has never recorded content, to somebody that has never used any of that type of technology, for you to go out and talk to them or live stream to them or do a podcast or a blog, that is more than they have done. And to them, you're going to be a professional. You might not think you are, but to those people who have not done it, you are a pro. You're an influencer. You're a guru in some cases. For some people, that's how I've heard it referenced as well. Everybody has their own niche and their own experience. And if you have more than a little bit of experience compared to somebody else, you can be seen as that professional. Fake it till you make it. Yeah. But that's the thing, is you really don't want to fake it either, because if you become fake on camera, your audience is going to expect that from you. And then if okay, for instance, when I was doing my content prior to Lita, that was faking it. Why was I faking it? Because I was low energy, monotone, and not really showing any character or personality. This to me is faking it. I'm hiding myself. Now, if I was to go out and be all extra bubbly and energetic, and that's not me, you all are going to expect that kind of energy from me every single content that I put out, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a video, whether it's a live stream. The more that you fake it on camera or in your content, it's going to get old, because you're not going to want to keep that amount of energy up. You're not going to want to try and push through whatever content it is with that same amount of energy absolutely every time. You're going to get bored with it. You're going to get tired of doing it. And then the instant that you come out and you change your energy flow of being on camera, your audience is going to look at that and go, hey, wait a minute, what the hell just happened? Before this stream, you were high energy and you said certain things, or you behaved in a certain manner. What happened? Oh, well, that I'm showing you the real me. Well, you should always show the real you, whether you're podcasting or making videos or live streaming, because the more that you fake it, the more your audience is going to expect you to be that way in absolutely everything you're going to do. And guess what? They're going to get pissed off at you the instant you change. That's why I was happy to be in Lita. That's why I am no longer afraid of hitting that go live button. That's why I'm able to sit here with you right now and go, I don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks anymore. Why? Because I got over that fear in the nerves of what everybody else is going to think. Those of you who like me for me, awesome. If you don't like my colorful use of fucking language, tough shit. Hit the bricks. I don't care. Because if you can't stand me for me being me, then you're not really here for my content. You're here for some kind of shit show where you expect me to be a particular way. And I'm going to show you me for me, not being fake and giving you what you want to see within me. You're going to see me. That's why I still swear. That's why I use my hands the way I do. That's why I give you my authentic personality, because I don't want anybody saying, well, never once does he swear. Guess what? I swear like a damn Marine's supposed to swear. constantly. Now, I will say that I have slightly tuned it down a little bit for these streams, but I still swear. Why? Because that's me. That's my personality. I don't fucking care. I'm not here to entertain children. I'm here to educate people on different resources for growing your channel, building your brand, and educating people about the blind and visually impaired. That's me. That's why I'm here. Why? Because I want to help you. And if I can't be me to help you, then that means you're not right for me and I'm not the right one for you. But if you like my content, you like my personality, you like me for me, that means you're going to stick around and actually participate in the community. You're going to watch my content. You're going to ask questions. You're going to see me respond to you the same way I respond to you in everything, whether you're here in the live stream, whether you're on the Facebook page or Twitter or Twitch or wherever, because I am on all the different social medias, but I'm not going to hide my language or my behavior to suit you. I'm not going to put out a front to make the algorithm for YouTube or Google happy. As I've said before, I can't stand being censored. And that's exactly what they're doing. And why? Because they're trying to strip your First Amendment right away. They don't want you to speak how you want to speak, they want you to conform to what they dictate. I don't care about what community standards are. I'm in Facebook jail on a regular basis. I swear in all these live streams pretty much. That there goes against YouTube community guidelines. Guess what? I don't fucking care. Why? Because you cannot shut me up. You cannot legally censor me. This to me, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, they are all public platforms. That puts them into the same classification as freedom of the press, freedom of speech. And that to me, if you tell me I cannot share in my own personal way, that's censorship. Censorship is not cool because that means they're going to dictate to you what you can say, what you can do, and how you can do, and that ain't cool. We're in the United States, the land of the free because of the brave, right? Well, then know your rights, practice your rights, and tell anybody who tells you you can't do that to fuck off. Just saying. It's how I look at it. Because to me, it's not just a constitutional right, it is a human right to be able to speak your mind, share your experiences however the hell you want to. Plain and simple. Yes, exactly, Samson. Rant jail. And you notice never once has YouTube punished me for my language or anything that I have said over the past couple of months because I've gone off on some pretty damn good rants here. Never once have I gotten a strike for anything for violating community standards. Never once has any of my videos been put out because of YouTube saying, hey, you violated our community standards, we're pulling your video. Why? Because they know, just like everybody else here knows, I'm going to fight it. Why? Because it violates my constitutional right and it violates my human right. We all have the right to speak our minds about whatever the hell we want. Period. Facebook jail, don't pass go, don't collect $200, roll a double. Exactly, Danny, exactly. You know, I could go on for hours on this kind of stuff. And I know I'm not the only one because at this particular moment, I have at least two people in this chat that has served in uniform and know exactly why I feel the way I feel. Because when you're in uniform, you have no rights. And I literally mean that. Once you sign on that dotted line to be in the military, whether it's Marine Corps or Coast Guard or Army or Air Force, Navy, don't matter. The instant you sign on that dotted line, you no longer have rights. Period. It's either you listen to what your commanding officers tell you to do and do it, or you get your ass in trouble. If you say something that they don't like, you get your ass in trouble. If you say something that they consider to where it might be the truth, but they don't want that truth told to anybody else, you're going to get your ass in trouble. It could be a demotion in rank. It could be a loss of awards. It could be a cut in your pay. It could be getting anywhere from a week, 2 months to years within the military jail. You could end up facing other legal issues underneath the Uniform Military Code of Justice just for speaking your mind. Samson can tell you if we in the Marine Corps are out and we get the slightest foot from pavement onto grass and there is a non-commissioned officer or an officer in your presence, you're going to get your ass reamed just for taking one step off of the sidewalk or off of the pavement into the grass. And you're going to get punished. I don't know about the Coast Guard with ELO, but Marine Corps is like super, super, super strict when it comes down to you not having rights. For instance, when the movie Jarhead came out, okay? If you were in the Marines, you could not go see that movie. And if you did, you better not have a Marine Corps tattoo showing. You better not have a Marine Corps ring. You better not have Marine Corps clothing at all. Not even your own personal clothing that says USMC or Marine Corps, anything like that. Anything that showed any association to the Marine Corps, you would get your ass in trouble. I learned the hard way because I did go to the theater to watch it and I had a Marine Corps shirt on. Guess what? Sad, sad decision to make that day because I wore my shirt and guess who happened to be there at the same time? One of the staff sergeants for my office who had made it very, very clear that I was violating our direct orders to not go to that movie. All because when you're enlisted, don't mean a damn thing what you want to do, it's what they tell you to do. If you don't do what they tell you to do, then you're in trouble. So we in those that have been in uniform know exactly what it's like not to have a right to do a damn thing because you have to follow orders to the T. Exactly, Samson. Killing machines don't need rights, they just need targets. And unfortunately, to our government, that's all we are, is trained killers. We have no right to do anything because they think that it is our responsibility to always be on the best behavior and ready to go kill when we're told to go kill. Whether you've been in combat or not, that is how they want you. You're a number. That's it. You're a number that better listen, and when we tell you to do something, you better do it. Someone told me YouTube stated they were not allowed to stream, forcing them to use Twitch. Not sure what caused it. They could. There's a possibility because Sammy, for instance, Sammy Superstar, has been on here for how long? And been doing video content. Somebody not too long ago flagged him, and YouTube said, even though he's 16 years old, that he cannot stream. Even though he is of the age requirement, they still said he was too young because somebody reported him. So now he had to find a different platform to work with. Now he's got a new account, he's doing different things set up a little bit different so he can get around all those issues. But they have all kinds of different reasons on why YouTube might actually stop somebody from streaming. For instance, like I was saying last week, the NELK post that Dean Nimmin had shared from Team YouTube, they took away a partnership program capability from that channel because they state that that channel owner was encouraging people not to social distance. He was encouraging people not to wear a mask. Guess what? I'm no different. But I've also stated I don't care about the YouTube partner program. I don't. If I get it ever in the future, I'll be surprised. If not, I don't really care because unless you're gonna pay me a fairly good amount to be on that partner program, I don't care. There's other ways to make money for monetizing my content other than making you all watch ads. Sorry, but that's just how I feel. And on top of it anyway, whether you're on the YouTube partner program or not, they're still gonna fucking put ads on your shit anyway. They're just not gonna pay you for it. And I don't know about you all, but every time an ad pops up on me, no matter whose channel it is, skip ad. What? 5 seconds, skip ad. 5 seconds, skip ad. I don't watch none of them bullshit ads. I don't care who it's for or what it's for. I give you as little revenue from AdSense as humanly possible. Am I going to pay for YouTube Premium? Fuck no. Why? It's a free platform. Why am I going to pay you so I don't have commercials? So you can make more money off of me? I don't fucking think so. I'll take that money and put it to good use. I'll give it to D. Nimmin, Nick Nimmin, Pat Flynn, Live Streaming Pros. Right there. That's $20 that I spend a month right now out of my own account to influencers and friends. I would much rather pay those channels that $4.99 than pay YouTube for ad-free viewing. Because I'm only going to skip your damn ads anyway. It only takes 5 seconds. Yeah, the 5 seconds adds up over the damn day, but why pay more to use the platform than just be patient, wait 4 or 5 seconds, and hit the skip button? Because that's all I do. Serious as shit. I don't care whose channel it is. I don't care whose ad it is. I don't care what the ad's for. I skip them all. Live Streaming Pros have commercials. I could watch their commercials because I know what it's for, and I am a channel member, and I know who Dave and Laria are and their content and all that. I've got the workshops. I'm in the youth coaching. But why am I going to watch their ad? Just to give them the extra AdSense? No. Why am I going to take an extra minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes in some cases? I've seen some of these ads run just so they can have extra revenue. To me, they make enough money between the coaching program and the super chats and the YouTube memberships and making their own content and public speaking and conferences and consulting. They do enough to make their own money that I see no point in giving them ad revenue because it's minute compared to the money they're making outside of the ad revenue. Hey, Greg, what's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us today. Greatly appreciated. Well, yeah, you're a marketing guy. I can understand that, Samson. I like some ads too, depending on what they are. But here on YouTube, they annoy the living fuck out of me. Seriously, bro, they annoy me to no end. Because 99% of the time lately, it's stupid ass ads. I'm going to show you how to make $1,000 in an hour. Bullshit. Your trick to make $1,000 in an hour ain't nothing new than what I can go and see from Pat Flynn on a live stream. Because Pat's already showed us quite a few different ways to make $1,000 in an hour. It's called affiliate marketing. So why would I go watch some other wannabe guru that I've never heard of before to learn about making $1,000 an hour doing affiliate marketing? Or I'm going to tell you how to get 15,000 people on your email list in 5 days. Guess what? Go need it. I'll go watch Pat Flynn's content because he'll tell you the same thing. Why do that when I can go see Amy Porterfield's content? She'll tell you the same thing. Self-publishing with Dale. Dan Courier, Creator Fundamentals. Nick Nimmin. Roberto Blake. Dean Nimmin. All these people have 99.9% of the same kind of content that I get for ads. I'm going to trust the professional influencer rather than some teenager that says, oh, well, I made this money this quick, when we know damn well that he didn't. Because, not saying anything about you, Sammy, because I know you do your own thing. But some of these kids that are on these ads aren't even old enough to be able to do half the shit they're talking about. One of them said that he was only 13 years old, which is the very minimum age to be on YouTube. Now, you can be a content creator on YouTube, but you're not going to make any money as a 13-year-old on YouTube. Why? Because it still falls underneath the child labor laws. You can't work. So you're not going to be able to do the Google AdSense. You're not going to be able to make money from YouTube at 13 years old and be on the partner program. Even if you had the requirements of the 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers. You're not going to make that money, but your parents can. And I don't know any parent that is going to allow their 13-year-old to sit around and make content to try and make money off of ads from YouTube. Most parents are going to be like, yeah, no, I'm not filling out papers for you for me to have to pay more taxes. because that's exactly what it's going to boil down to. Oh, I am so telling you, I am 100% with you on that one, Greg. This election shit needs to get over with. It is so fucking old. I'm I am so 100% there with you on that, brother. I swear. It's so freaking old. All right, we are a few minutes over, but that's all right. I would much rather be a few minutes over compared to cutting off early. But I am totally with you on that one, Greg. 100%, brother. But public speaking can actually be quite lucrative if you want it to. All depends on what you want to talk about, what your niche is. You know, all of us here, especially everybody I see right now within this live stream. Greg's got experience that he could talk about when it, for instance, he wasn't here to see the beginning of the show, but we were talking about the accessibility technology conference that Sam is doing for Blind Life, the conference that he's been promoting the last few months. Greg could be one of those speakers. Why? Because he is 100% blind and he uses a lot of that accessibility features and tools that are out there for our community. He would have more of a grounds to be on that conference as a presenter, in my opinion, than I do. Why? Because though I am legally blind, Greg is 100% blind. He has to rely more on that kind of technology than I do because I still have low vision. And he would be able to go, okay, here's the benefits of the new talking watch. Here's the benefits of, for instance, I've got a new product that I'm experiencing right now, I'm working on. This is my pedometer.
You have walked 2,542 steps, 0.72 miles.
I've walked 3/4 of a mile today. That's just here in my house. And this will be another one of my product review videos, talking about how simple it is to set up or not, how accurate it is on counting your steps, how accurate or easy the instructions are to set it up, and things like that. That's another assistive technology because you can count your own damn steps if you really wanted to, but you might lose track because of doing something else. Whereas now this does it all for me. I can hit a button, it tells me how many steps I've walked and how far of a distance I've walked. In which the last 5 days, I have walked 6 miles. That's nothing compared to what I know Samson walks in a day. Well, he might be able to, but it's not that he really made it, his parents made it. 39.6 mil in 2019-2020. Started in 2015 and he was 5 years old. Yeah, well, it makes me kind of curious because from everything that I've seen is might be able to make the money, but it's not so much him making the money, it's going to be the parents making the money because he can't fill out tax forms or none of that until he's 18. And wish I could have made that money back when I was younger because I've been doing shit for so long and haven't made money at doing nothing hardly. I've been doing YouTube for 16 years. Haven't made 1 cent from doing YouTube. See, gotta start early in life to make it or know someone who can give you a financial kickstart. Yeah, that I would go with the latter of those and get the financial kickstart because I've been doing shit for years. I started working when I was a kid, helping out my family. I was an assistant cook. I worked for the fire department, worked for the Marine Corps. Been doing video content for over 20 years. Don't make nothing. You know, I've done public speaking a few times. Most of the time, I didn't make anything. Only two of them that I actually made $5 off of one, $50 off the other. Otherwise, I've done more stuff to help people out free than I have anything. I've always been one of those, like, even my artwork. I'll make something and I will sell it dirt cheap. Why? Because everybody else I know that does artwork even close to mine wants to charge like it's gold, and it's not. In some cases, I've seen people take their artwork and it's the cheapest, chintziest, freaking Chinese looking crap and try to charge $400, $500, $600 for something, and it literally took them 2 or 3 minutes to throw together. Whereas mine, I could take 4, 5, 6 days tirelessly working on something, and I'll charge 20, 30, $40 for it. Whereas everybody's told me, well, for the amount of time it took, for the experience that you have to be able to do something like that, you should charge 4 or 500. Nobody's gonna buy it. At least nobody I know is going to buy it. Yeah, see, and I don't have people. My mom's side of the family is Joneses, and a lot of them will actually are the definition of that stereotype of keeping up with the Joneses, holier than thou, Miss Priss, Mr. Snob, noses in the air, think they're king shit about everything because they have money. Yeah, them are the kind of people I deal with on both sides of my family. And they don't give a shit. They won't help you get anything started. They won't even pick your ass up to go to family functions because they're better than you. Uh, Assistive tech helps me and pisses me off too. I want to chuck my phone and laptop out the window at least 5 times per day. I totally understand you on that one too, Greg. I know I'm not 100% blind, but I know your feeling. Yesterday, I was working on putting together a video. And right now, not that any of you guys can see it, actually, here. We'll move my mouse over just a little bit. There's my mouse. Compared to everybody else's average mouse of being that little itty bitty little freaking arrow, mine is literally almost 2 inches long by 2 inches wide. So I can see it and not have to struggle to find that little fucking thing wherever it's hiding on the screen. And I absolutely love it. Now, what pisses me off though, should I go to share my screen right now to show you that mouse? Guess what happens? It shrinks back down to normal fucking size of like a pencil eraser. So it's pointless for me to try and show you anything with my mouse because I know you in the blind and visually impaired community aren't going to see it. I'm going to have to describe to you, like I do in my tutorial videos, what is going on because you're not going to see. Well, I know, Greg, you don't qualify for that one, but everybody else in the community is not going to see that little fucking thing moving around on the screen because it's too small. To me, that's fucking stupid. Why give me the feature of having a gigantic mouse like that for me to see it, but yet take that mouse and shrink it right back down so whoever else on the other screen can't see it? It's stupid. Why have accessibility features for me to be able to see it, but not keep that accessibility feature turned on so my audience can see that as well? Just my own observation. It's great and helps massively, but if this technology also has a lot of flaws, it needs to be designed by people with disabilities, and it could probably be so much better. I so agree with you on that, Danny. uh, Between you and Greg, I don't know which one's gonna make me fucking laugh more because you guys come up with some of the best one-liners for jokes. I swear to God. You and Greg, we all need to get together and start a fucking blind comic group. I'm just saying, the blind comedians, between you two and my cousin and I, we've already got 4 of us that'd be perfect with some of the shit that we say. Just saying, just throwing it out there. Because that, yeah, that definitely fits all of us for sure. My mouse is bigger than your mouse. Haha. It's a rat, actually. Yeah. See? See? Exactly. Holy shit, Samson, 50 miles a week? I thought you were doing more than that. But still, 50 miles in a week, that's still quite a good distance. I thought you had, Greg. One of these days we might have to get together and do some comedy. All right, let's see here. All right, it is 4:30, so if anybody has any more quick questions about public speaking, go ahead and drop them into the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead, drop them down there in the comments, and I will get back to them as soon as possible. I don't want to keep everybody too long, trying to keep these streams fairly close to normal time. That and right now, not that you can all see it on my camera angle, but my room is like in complete fucking chaos because I started working on stuff while Comcast was here, or Xfinity, whatever you want to call them. It's the same damn company, but I started organizing more so I could be able to get things situated so that I can get a desk in here and get everything looking a little bit more professional and better so I'm not constantly moving crap around. Still be able to do my recordings the way I want to. If you are new here and aren't already subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can stay updated on the latest videos, live streams, and more. Don't forget to smash that like button either, because if you don't, there's a likely chance that if you don't engage with that channel, you're not going to get your notifications. For some reason, YouTube has become very pig-headed the last few months, and they constantly keep changing up the algorithm. And why the hell they put that little bell icon on there in the first place, who knows? Because they still refuse to give out notifications unless you interact and engage with that channel. Stupid, in my opinion, but hey, it's YouTube. We never said that they were the brightest crayon in the box. If you have any questions that you don't feel comfortable with sharing here in the chat or in the comments, you can always feel free to email me at consult.ablindguy@gmail.com. I am the only one that monitors my emails, so you don't have to worry about privacy concerns or anything like that. I will not share your personal information or your questions or anything like that without your prior approval. You can join us on Facebook in the Hangout group. Consult a Blind Guy Hangout group is what you can search for on Facebook. There is also a link in the description as well as on my channel header. Speak up, I can't see you. What? More coffee. We so need Archer to get something like that going too. We need another sound effect like that. Maybe that's what I'll work on the next couple days in my free time. Samson is a what setup for more coffee. More coffee. More creamer. More coffee. Where the fuck's my caffeine? Gotta have my caffeine. I use comedy a lot just to get through the day and to make light of a bad situation. Yup. I totally with you on that one, Danny. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's one reason I swear a lot. That's Marine Corps comedy right there. Is you got a problem? What the fuck's the problem? We'll show you how to fix that problem. Kill it. Just saying. Hashtag rant time. Hashtag just saying. Hashtag kill. Because that was one of our commanding officer's most famous things when I was in volunteering for the Corps is when you would acknowledge an order, you would say aye sir, or aye sir, or aye ma'am, depending on if it was a woman. And when I was there, we started a new thing. Instead of saying aye ma'am or aye sir, it was just kill. Because now you're going to kill whatever it is that task was that was given to you. So you didn't have to constantly say aye, 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 sir, aye, ma'am, aye, sir, aye, ma'am, aye, 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 aye. It gets fucking old. So it just went from aye, aye to kill. Because now we're going to go do what the hell we were told to do. That would be awesome, Danny. Definitely can do something like that. We're all on Facebook, so we can chat on there a little bit more and figure out how we'd want to do it. Hey, more coffee. More coffee. Gotta have more coffee. Need my go juice, man. If I ain't got my go juice, you better run like a motherfucker. A Marine without coffee is asking for your head to be removed. Nothing deadlier than a Marine without coffee. Just saying. A Marine and his rifle is already deadly enough. A Marine and his rifle without coffee, you're really fucking asking for World War III. Just saying. Just as long as it doesn't involve hot cheese balls. uh, oh shit. Is it from under cheese, Danny? From under cheese, Greg? Does that work? Cause I'm sure that we could come up with some good jokes with some hot cheese balls. Just saying. Oh, yeah. We're so gonna have to all chat on Facebook, figure out a time and some skits we might want to do. But I don't want to keep you guys all day. And as I said, my room is like in complete chaos right now because I've got things scattered here, there, and everywhere. So I've got a lot to take care of before I can even go to bed tonight. And I mean a lot, a lot, a lot. My bed is buried. Half my floor, well, I'd say more like 3/4 of my floor is buried. Thank God I have this bright ass light that is on me to give me my good appearance. Otherwise, if I didn't have that damn thing, I'd probably trip over everything that I've got on the floor at the moment. At least it gives me some kind of a contrast to know that there's something there. LMAO, they're spicy. I managed to get them imported to the UK. I don't know if I'd want to admit that they're Danny. Somebody might misconstrue them words. Ooh, nice. I haven't had an espresso in probably 15 years. Yeah, yeah, beauty light. It good old magnifiers, man. I love my magnifying lamp. That fucking light is bright. That's one reason I keep looking at the camera on my phone at the computer, because if I look up that way, that that light is like unbearably bright. Another hot ball. Oh shit. Oh, love it. Just love it. The blind community has one hell of a sense of humor. Just saying. If you don't learn that about all of us here on this channel or in our own content, be forewarned. We do have very very humorous sense of personality. Sometimes you might not like it because we can be quite offensive because we all have our own styles. But that yeah. But all right, everybody, I want to thank you all again for joining me today. It is greatly appreciated. I will be back on Thursday to do our usual live stream as well. Don't forget that starting on October 1st, it is the first day of the blind live streaming every day in October challenge on a private Facebook group. If you wish to participate, the link is in the description for the sign up. It will allow me to email you to give you the invite to the group, as well as email you nightly so you have a pre warning of what the following day's missions are. I will also be posting them within the Facebook group, but that will be in the morning of each challenge. So if you want to participate, sign up on that link within the description. If you have any questions, you can feel free to hit me up and I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Well, you ever think, Danny, that them there cheese balls might be what's giving you the chest pain? Although I don't know if I'd want anything from Carolina for cheese balls anyway. That's just scary thought. You never know where those Marines have been. Just saying. But on a serious note, I hope your chest pains ain't anything too major and you do all right. Keep us posted on anything that arises. don't want to hear about you having a heart attack on us or something, But thank you all again for joining me today. It is greatly appreciated. I will be sending out emails here shortly in the next couple hours with the link to the Facebook group for the challenge, as well as the first set of instructions on how to go live, whether you want to be on camera or whether you don't want to be on camera, and do it in the podcast style. That way you are ready to go for the first of the month. And if you have questions, feel free to comment below, hit me up on the Facebook page or in our group, or you can email me as well. Any way you feel like contacting me, I am on all social media platforms. So you could hit me up and I will answer any of your questions. So thank you all again for joining me today. Greatly appreciated. And I will see you on Facebook, on social media, or see you again here Thursday afternoon for our usual Why Do You Do What You Do live stream. And we will see which special guest will be on Thursday. It's a surprise because I don't know just yet, but we'll find out, won't we? Stay tuned until the next time. I will see you later. Greatly appreciated. Peace out until then.